Recording is on.
Let's dive right in. So a special welcome to everyone, especially to Oyindamola, our special guests for the session today. It's exciting to have all of the beautiful faces here. Even though I can't see everyone, I have no doubts that we all look beautiful and handsome. And it's going to be an amazing session. And so let's quickly dive right into it. Now, my name is Jedidiah for those of you that are meeting me for the very first time, and I am the conveyor of the North Star community. And really, the North Star community is, um, as the name implies, right, that guiding light that indicator that pretty much guides your path, and more specifically on your journey into the tech space. And the objective for us in the community is really simple: to ensure that you have the right support, you have the right help, you have experts in Damola like myself that will be putting you through all of the challenges that you are facing. All right, the objective is to ensure that we have more people that are able to get into this space. You have support, you're able to build, you're able to collaborate with other people just like yourself who are also navigating the same journey. All right, now if you're not already a part of the community, I'm going to be sharing the form for you to just fill that out, provide your details, and we'll be sure to get you into the community. If you already are, then a wonderful welcome to you once again. If you're not to worry. I'm going to provide the details for you to be a part of the community so you can get to benefit from all of the wonderful resources and work that we are doing within the community. And before I get further into this, I'm sure for a lot of us that are watching for the very first time, you might be wondering, who exactly is this guy, this random guy on YouTube that's telling me about tech and um, you know, and about this community, and what really qualifies him to be having this conversation with me. Just a quick personal intro. My name is Jedidiah. I have worked across data analytics, data science, and AI engineering. I've worked with organizations in the US, in Nigeria, in the UK, and I've also trained, over 1,000 people, helping them to make their transition into the tech space. So I have a wealth of experience working in the actual industry as well as actually training people and helping them make the transition into tech. And I'm going to be bringing my wealth of experience into the community, the North Star. Like I said, the name is the whole point, right? We are trying to help you break into the tech space without any confusion, guiding you as you navigate this journey. All right, now with me on the call today is my wonderful friend Oyindamola. I call her Olawatoyin. I don't even know what that means. I don't think it has a meaning, but it's an inside joke anyway. So I'm going to let Oyindamola introduce herself before we move any further into the session today. Hi, Oyindamola.
Hi, Jedediah. Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And the NorthStar community, I'm having FOMO. I want to join. Please include me. All right. So, my name is Oyindamola Olawoyin. And, well, I used to say I'm data professional, but I think I would just say I'm a tech professional because the truth is that the foundation of tech is data, and that just solves most of the problem. So for almost 5 years now, I've been in tech, right? I've been a teacher, I've been a data analyst, I've been an operations person throughout tech. So I've worked in like NGOs that require tech. I've worked in ed techs. I've worked in marketing as well. So that's essentially me. I like teaching,
Mm.
and yeah, I like talking to people about getting into tech and the fact that tech is the next thing. Not because everybody's saying it, but it is what it is.
All right. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. Oyindamola is just trying to, be humble. She's a superstar, right? And there's a lot of value for us to actually get from Oyindamola in the conversation today. You'd have the opportunity to ask as much questions as you have, and I'm sure Oyindamola will be more than happy to, answer all of these questions and give you the help and clarity that you need. All right. So without any further ado, would like to kick things off with the couple of questions that I have set in place to help Oyindamola, just put us through with a couple of things. And in addition to this, you would have the opportunity to ask any questions that you have to Oyindamola. We'll try to keep this well within an hour so we don't waste any more time. Tomorrow is Monday. I'm sure we all, are looking forward to the hustle and bustle of the new week. But we'll sure try to keep this under an hour so we can wrap things up and you can go back to every other thing that you have going on. All right. So without any further ado, I think we can jump right into it. Wayne, are you ready?
Yes, 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 I am.
All right then. All right then. So to kick things off, I would like to start with the most conventional question. Right? Can you share what's your story? Right? What is your story? How did you stumble on, data analytics, and was that what's your story basically? How did you stumble upon it, and how did you actually get started? What was the motivation for you getting into this? I don't assume you started off as a computer science person, right? But now you're working in tech. So, what's the story? How did you navigate that?
Okay, so I think you're right to use the word how did I stumble because I did stumble in. So my first degree I studied soil science. So it's a branch of agriculture where you study the soil. And yes, that's basically what we do. It's a real thing. People have jobs there and it's quite lucrative in some cases. However, I didn't like soil science. When I found out that they gave me soil science, I didn't apply for it. And I was like, what is soil science? I wanted to study other things. I tried writing jam over and over again. I just did a lot of things. So in my quest to find other things interesting in my school. So I went to a school where there are a lot of options, right? So I joined an organization based on, oh, it's a student organization. I want to, meet more people, have like more friends to talk to and things like that. And we went for a conference and in the conference, one of my roommates was pressing my laptop, pressing. Sorry, that time I used to teach children, right? I used to teach online. So, what are you doing? She says she's a data analyst. I did not ask her that questions. I mean, definitely she's my roommate, so we exchange numbers and she's viewing my status, I'm viewing her status. However, prior to that, I had a friend that was in tech, like a very close friend, and he's a computer science person. And it's just like, what are you doing this tech? Must everybody do tech? I'm not even interested in this tech. Is it by force? The whole world cannot do tech. The other people that has to do things. And I was always bad belaying tech. So like I did not like tech. So I was always just looking for how to like get it out of the way, right? So then I started warming up towards the sort of tech. I think I learned UI UX. But the thing about learning UI UX design is that you don't get to do design initially. You have to go through the entire UI and UX. So like the theory part, and I hated it. So I just dumped it and just kept on focusing on school to the best of my capability then. Then this lady, I wanted to work in corporate, right? So I like the way corporate people dress. I just wanted to be a corporate girl. And this babe posted that she's having a free Excel class. I knew people in corporate used to use Excel. That was the only reason why I registered for that class. It was free. My school was on strike and I just had things that I had time and I saw free class. So I took the class and I was like, this thing is interesting. I was enjoying it. She now said that, oh, to complete the full course, you have to pay an extra amount. I told my daddy that you should please borrow me the money because that was but the money was it was 25,000, I think. That was my entire salary that time. I told my daddy I should borrow me the money that I'll give him back when I collect my salary. And I just looked at me and I was like, okay, take the money. He didn't collect it eventually, but I did finish up the data analytics course and I found it interesting. I just found the fact that I could design and I was good at math. So I've always been like, I like math. So the whole formula, everything was really intriguing to me. So I just kept learning. Then I joined the community like this, right? It was actually just my friend and a couple of his friends that were just breaking into tech. So we're all women in tech, right? So it was his name, like Women in Tech. So we just kept on. So he would give us like tasks because he had a full CS background. He really developed himself in tech. So he was way ahead of us. So he knew how to speak to the person that was learning front end, me that was learning data. So that's basically how I stumbled into tech. Then a couple of months later, so I just kept building projects, doing different things, just ensuring that I was in the place where I could hear about tech. So for me, growth is also putting yourself in a place where that kind of the growth happens. So if you don't put yourself in the environment where the growth happens, so on like my entire Twitter timeline was like data dashboard, all these data communities. You hardly find like if they're talking about like trending stuff on Twitter, you literally not find it on my own timeline because all that is there is like sweet like tech. Even my I didn't really use Instagram for tech, but like my Twitter I was constantly on it. Tech. My LinkedIn, tech. So I had so much information to like keep using, just be in that space where I kept growing. So that's exactly how I stumbled into tech, and I just realized all this tech that was resisting. Oh well, this is where we are. That's it. Hi Jed. Okay,
Can you
yes,
hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yes, I can.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I was saying association can really be a strong trigger to success and even career growth and a lot of other growth across many spheres of life. And really this is just a very interesting story. I remember my own story, right? The friends I had while learning were a huge motivation to actually scaling through and actually growing within my journey, right? So it's really interesting to hear this from another person's perspective, and just hearing how just watching your roommates work on Excel and stuff like that, and just being around people who are also doing the same thing, immersing yourself into communities like that, communities like the NorthStar community as well, right, motivated you to making this transition. And it's really amazing to see the success and the accomplishments that you've made so far, right? It's really amazing to see all of this on your end, right? And I'd like to ask this very interesting question, especially for someone like you who is coming from a completely non-IT related background, all right? When you first started, and I mean you mentioned that you were one of the people that were bad mouthing the whole tech thing, right? So what did you first think like the job was about that made you to even bad mouth it in the first place? What did you think the data or tech or whatever was really about, and how did that conception about all of this change when you actually got into it?
Hmm. Actually, to be honest, I don't think I had a particular reason why I was bad mouthing it. I just don't like a thing that everybody's talking about and everybody's raving about. And at that point, oh my God, everybody wanted to be in tech. I mean, this thing, I mean, that one, I mean, I just felt irritated by the whole thing. And I'm just like, everybody can't do tech. I mean, truly, everybody can't do tech. But it is what it is. Like you have an element of tech in your life. Your phone is there. The fact that we're on this call is tech. Like the fact that I have a fan, the fact that I in fact use a spoon is tech, right? It's people evolving and creating solutions. And that's what kind of changed. And that kind of changed a couple of years later, like when I started teaching, because I have taught mostly and I have to really break it down to people, especially people of like older people. So like people in their 50s, that tech is not code. Technology is like solutions. So in the grand scheme of things, that we're just trying to create smarter, faster and more efficient ways to build things or to solve problems or to do things. So that's essentially what changed about tech. That is not actually like a rave thing. It's not like peer pressure. It's just it's a solution building.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Solution building. This is one very key thing to, the whole concept of tech. And I get questions like, what do you think the most important skill is when it comes to tech and in general the workspace today? And my answer is usually in line with what you just said right now, solution building. My answer is usually problem solving, right? Whatever it is that you are thinking about doing, software engineering, data science, machine learning, data engineering, whatever it is, the end goal is to actually solve a problem, right? And I believe that's the most important skill you can learn, especially in today's day and age where AI can practically do almost everything, right? So in the end, it comes down to who can actually leverage these AI tools to solve problems that actually impact businesses and help them to grow, right? And everything you're saying right now is absolutely phenomenal, and on point, absolutely. If you are here already, a part of the, NorthStar community, I would encourage that you go into the group and, just go on to encourage the others who are not here yet. Just drop a message. The session is live. They should ensure that they are a part of this so they don't miss out on the amazing information that Olawatoyin is sharing with us today. All right. So without further ado, we are going to move on to the next question, which is an interesting one, right? When you've worked within the actual job space, right, as a data analyst, you've also had the opportunity to actually train people who are making this transition into the tech space. What would you say is or are some of the most common mistakes that you see people making, right? And what do you think is the best way to actually address these things?
Hmm. Okay, so I'm going to come from the perspective of someone that teaches, right? So I see people trying to learn the tools, right? And no, learning these tools is not bad, but I think people need to understand the engineering or the reason why we're using those tools. So for example, I'm a data analyst, right? And you tell people, oh, when you learn Excel, basically you're trying to solve things faster, you're trying to calculate faster, you're trying to automate things, right? Now, if as a um as some, like I said, it's mostly problem solving. I think that's just most of it. So don't try to focus on the tools, focus on what is the thought, is the thought the word, but basically what's the mechanism exactly, hence, so what's the mechanism behind the tool. So if Excel can do this, something similar can also do that. And definitely Excel is not the only product that is a spreadsheet, meaning I can't transfer that knowledge that I have learned in Excel across. It may have a different interface, it may look different, it may feel different, but once you understand the background mechanism, that kind of solves most of your problem. Like, you don't have to constantly feel scared to learn new tools. You don't feel terrified to transfer your knowledge from one place to another, from one industry to another. Because the thing about tech is that everybody wants to be involved now. So across industries, people are looking for specific skill sets. But if you don't know how the mechanism behind how the tools work, learning the tools, you would feel terrified, you feel afraid, you feel irritated, you feel overwhelmed when you cut across, and you will not even have the confidence to apply to other places that don't do what is you're familiar with. I think that's just the thing I would say to beginners. So forget the tools. It's like you want to drive to a place, right? You want to go to maybe from Lagos to Abuja, and you can decide to trek. You can decide to ride a bicycle. You can decide to take a motorcycle. You can decide to fly. You can decide to drive a car. They're all means to an end. The point is where how you want to go there is your choice, and there are options. So basically tools or mechanism over tools. That's just what I would say to beginners now.
Hmm. Mechanisms over tools. That's I need to write that down. Mechanisms over tools. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. Now, going out from the learning space to actually getting a job, right? I would like for you to share with us how long it realistically took you, like how long it actually took you from learning this skill to actually getting a job, and what was that journey like?
Okay, so for me, I would say it was quite dynamic. So the organization I belonged to when I was in school, the one that made me meet my roommate, that I learned talent from, right? So it's called ISEC. So basically what they do is they simulate a workplace. So you have like the marketing department, you have the operations department, you have all of that. However, when I finished learning with the lady, when I finished where I learned my data analytics, a couple of months down the line, because she taught me personally, she was of the startup, and she taught me herself. Then a couple of months later, I see that she was looking for a Power BI tutor. And based on familiarity, she
Mm,
taught me she did. And I just spoke to her that, oh, I'm looking for a teacher. I can teach now. Like, and I like Power BI. So put me on. And she did. There was no official application. There was nothing like that. And she did. And she like watched it for a couple of weeks, and girl is good. So I think I have a gift for teaching, right? So it's one of those things that just come easy to me. So teaching was great. But the thing about teaching is you also learn more. So
mm,
cohort on cohort, class on class, I kept getting better. So that's how I broke the whole cycle of you need experience, or you need experience to get experience and experience to get
mm,
experience. So I broke that cycle by simply asking, put me on.
mm,
Then when I now got my first proper, then I also volunteered. So while I was in school, because I didn't like my course, I always found other things to do to like keep me moving, to keep me going. So I volunteered. So like my department could be, or my faculty could be having a conference, and I'm like, oh, you guys, let me analyze your guest conference or your guest data or stuff like that. Then I volunteered, like, because of the way ISEC is also formed, I could also like say, oh, let me be a data analyst for this organization or this part of the organization. Let me analyze your marketing data. Let me do this. Let me do that. So I did a lot of volunteering, a lot of free work and underpaid work so that I could get like the experience. Then I talked about it. So I did this. I spoke about it. I tweeted about it a lot. I didn't do a lot of my talking on LinkedIn until much later, except maybe when I did something grand. Maybe I finished the course or I built a new dashboard. I didn't do anything grand, but what I was constantly putting myself out there, talking about what I was learning, talking about things that I found out, things that were insightful to me, intriguing to me. I kept talking about that. So then my first, what I like to call my first big girl job, I was actually headhunted. So I was reached out to on LinkedIn. Oh, we see that you have a great profile. By that time, all my volunteering work, all the work I had done, I felt like it was paying off. So I was headhunted first big girl job. So basically put yourself out there, talk about it, and understand what you are doing. That's just how I was able to break that cycle of experience. You need experience to gain experience, and experience again.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And it's interesting that you are pointing towards experience, because this is a very key thing when it comes to the recruitment and hiring process. A lot of organizations will put out jobs and say, oh, we need someone with 2 years of experience, 3 years of experience, and I'm just learning data analytics, right? I literally just learned how to build a dashboard in Power BI. How exactly do I show these organizations that if you give me the opportunity, I will not let you down. I would actually get the work done. So for a lot of beginners, that can be a hassle. Just understand, figuring out how to navigate, showing recruiters that you are worth it, or you have the skill, you have what it takes to actually get the work done. All right. So how exactly do you navigate, or how exactly do you show this experience that the job market demands?
Okay, so showing the experience that the job market demands is basically, like I said, talking about it. So, for example, now, there are friends that I have made for years. I probably don't talk to them every day. I Honestly, I probably haven't spoken to them this year, but because I made so much noise about what I was doing. So I think people should make noise about what they are doing. So if you're interested in something, talk about it. Let the whole world know this is what you are doing. So because I have made so much noise about it, oh, and I'm like, oh, am looking for a job, or if you see anything that is anything that looks like data, works like data, put me on. So they just send me random things, and like, I don't know, maybe they mention my names to people. They say, oh, this person. So just talk about what you're doing to people, and don't be shy to volunteer. Can we all be serious? If you want to get an experience, at least 6 months, right?
Mm.
Use that 6 months well. Then even if you can't have the experience, try to offer free. It's crazy, but try to offer free labor. People love free things. So like when I told her that other day to put me on, she didn't even ask me. She was like, oh, just be giving you this small amount. The amount was okay at that time, could solve my data for like 2 weeks or half a month. But it was not much. It was, let me just say it, my first salary was like 5K, and it was not like it came in every day, right? So when she said, I was even pleased because I'm just like, you want to give me work, let me do it. I can do it. Let me tell you, I can. Prove to me. And right now there's nothing that I am doing that now her startup has grown, and there's nothing I'm doing now that I can't just say, oh, hi, can you help me do this, can you recommend me for this, can you write a recommendation letter, that kind of thing already built, or just really spoke about, like building the experience. All that experience I do, the experience is from free things, especially if you are like new into the whole space. Your experience is free labor. Try to offer free labor, try to talk to people. Then even if you can't see anywhere to offer free labor, build projects. Now when I say build projects, for example, now a data analyst, don't build dashboards, build a case study so that people can see, okay, this how this thing can help me, not, oh, this looks pretty, right? Because that's two different things.
Mm.
And I learned that far along the line, that don't build dashboards, build a case study, build something, build a simulation. Aha. Don't just build like pretty things, build a simulation so people can see how the application of what you do and how it is important to them, or what they are trying to build as well. I think that's just how to break that whole, like, getting into your job and all things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. This really points back to the whole idea of creating solutions and actually solving problems. So instead of building random dashboards that might look really amazing, you actually create a case study around it, and so it's tied back to actual impact. This was the problem, and this is how this dashboard that I'm building is actually addressing this particular problem. That's so insightful. Thank you so much, Oyindamola, for for sharing this. um, Now, the next question is, specific to, the demography of people that I have come across lately. I've spoken to a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they ask, is tech something I can actually do? Right? They are confused whether or not it's too late for them to get into this space, right? Because at this point they'll be competing with people who probably started in their 20s, now in their 30s, and have gotten years of experience, and for these people they are just starting out. So what's your take on this? Is it too late for people in their 30s, 40s, 50s to actually get into this?
No, the simple answer is no. It's not too late for people in, like, people, older people, to get into tech. So I have also taught people in their 40s, their 50s. I can almost bet that I've seen something like someone that's 60 plus in my class. Now, a couple of things. So are they computer literate? If not, can they, do they have the time and the bandwidth to actually learn? So I don't think anything is impossible in life. I generally think everything has been done before, so everything is possible. Somebody has done it before, so everything is possible. However, do you want to do it? So do you have the bandwidth to do it? Do you um are you willing to put in the work to do it? So if All that is yes, yes. So if you're not computer literate, are you willing to start learning how to click on your computer? You use your phone. It's not that hard. However, are you learning to put in the work, constant practice? Because the thing about learning a new skill in general is that you have to constantly practice. It's not that you do it today and continue next week. It doesn't work like that. So you really have to want it so bad and actually do the work. So doing the work is what I always ask, are you ready to do the work? If not, and if you're talking about years of experience, it's still, like I said, doing the work. Are you ready to volunteer? Are you ready to, okay, you cannot volunteer, you don't have the time on your hand now. Can you build projects? And a lot of people are already professionals. You have transferable knowledge, you have transferable skills that honestly anything you're doing in tech is just a cherry on top, right? So you probably have like 15 years experience in maybe supply chain. The moment you learn something like maybe front end or back end or even data analytics, that just augments what you already have. So don't think of it as like you are learning something new. I mean, while yes, it is learning something new, also think of it as you're not starting from the scratch. You are augmenting what you already have. So that break in between is not that deep. I genuinely, so far you're able to put in the work and you're willing to, it's not actually that. I don't think it's that much of so much or it's that much trouble to break into tech, regardless of your background, your age, your experience.
Mm. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. Um, there's this question I got recently in another interview, and I'd like to bring that here because I feel like it's in line with the conversation we are having right now. From everything you've said, you've mentioned how you were able to tap into different communities that you were in, from departments, events where you volunteered to, working with the lady that taught you to use Power BI to, working with ISEC. Um, these communities helped you to, leverage network and also hone your skill in actually helping you to secure, build your career and grow in that line. Now, the question is, what do you think it really looks like? Considering on one end, being an expert, really amazing at the work that you do, and then on the other end, actually networking with other people within the ecosystem. What do you think the balance looks like um, across these two ends of the spectrum?
Okay, so honestly, I don't think I'm that great at networking. That's just what I think. I don't think I'm not that kind of person that would. Okay, let me say I'm not the kind of person I'll send a text first, but I'm not the person that you see in a physical event, and I would say hi. I'm not shy. However, I just feel okay if I say hi, what am I going to say next? Like I just have a lot of things going on. However, again, one thing I think I have constantly done to myself wherever I am is that I've always tried to put myself in a place where I have to do these things. So prior to joining ISEC, I didn't really have any friends, right? And I was just like, "Ah, I want to talk to more people." And I think I joined Hot Price first, then I joined High Sec. I just kept joining things. So I'll just go there and like listen to people. Then but then I'm also very inquisitive, so I'm not shy to ask a question. So if you say something, I will ask a question. I'll say, "Oh, sir, what do you mean by this?" Or "I don't understand why this." Or "How about we do it this way?" So I was not shy to say, "Oh, what about this?" I would comment on your post if I have something to say. But the thing is, most of the time, I probably don't have something to say. I'm just like taking in the information. So being a professional networking, put yourself in a place where you actually have to do those things. So you can't be like a member of ISEC and not actually network. By the time you go for conferences, first of all, by the time they assign you your rooms for conferences, you probably don't know anybody that is your roommate, and you guys are going to be there for like 4 5 days. So you don't know anybody, and you people have to ensure that you go for the sessions on time, come back on time. You will sleep in the same room. Like you don't need to know them. Then them they know their friends, so their friends will come. Your own friends will come. Everybody will mix together. Like there's just so much. So in that kind of place or in that kind of scenario where I actually have to speak to somebody, because a lot of these organizations, now that I think about it, I joined them alone. I didn't join because my friends were there. I just was like, I want to talk to more people. Let me go, and I would go by myself. So I think with networking, especially if you are kind of uncomfortable with it, I would say put yourself in places where you actually need to network. So like it is compulsory for you. So it's as simple as saying hi. So when I just say hello, you have a pretty dress, or oh hi, I think I like your dress. So now it starts from things like that. Or then I I believe I'm a funny person. So maybe they say something and like I just say a joke and person laughs and I'm just like, now this thing, then we start talking. So just different things like that. Networking is not all about, excuse me, I saw that you're a professional with 10 years experience. I am also trying to build myself. I mean, yes, it will get there, but I don't the networking is strictly about, I think networking is about making friends or at least making acquaintances. So when you approach it that way, talking about your career and oh, how can this person help you? Oh, you work here. Really, that's interesting. I've been thinking they do interesting stuff. That's after by that time, person's already gisting you about everything that is going on in their office. So I think you should approach networking not in a rigid way, except you are like very specific and looking for very different things, or if you know the person's kind of really busy. But regardless, I think you still need to like take the approach of like at least being friendly rather than being stoic and strict and all of that. You definitely would ask questions, but let your questions even come with not so much rigidity, just oh, how do you think, what do you think about this, right? This is what's going on and what do you think about it? Just I just want to hear your thoughts. That's how I approach networking, and I've constantly always tried to put myself in a place where it's compulsory. And sometimes even if I don't know what to say, what I have done recently, because I'm trying to like grow my network in like a particular, so in operations management and things like that, and I want to ask him questions but I don't know what to ask him. So I went to AI. In life you have to know how to leverage. I say I'm trying to ask him questions about this. What should I say? Right, when the AI says things or gives me a list of things to say, like oh this makes sense but this is how I want to ask my own question, just gives me ideas, right? So there are a lot of ways around it. You don't necessarily have to know everything. That's just my own approach to networking.
That's really amazing. That's really amazing, Oyindamola. Networking is very vital, especially on your journey to making this transition. I mentioned I was asked a similar question in a recent interview. I just remembered I was also having a similar conversation with someone earlier today. The importance of actually having people in your corner, and networking isn't always necessarily upwards, right? You can actually network horizontally with people at the same level as yourself, people who are also on the same journey as yourself, others who are also learning the same things as yourself, others who are also trying to make this transition just like you are. And to be honest, that's the reason why the NorthStar community exists. So you get to interact with other people like this. So you get to have, conversations like this. You get to, support each other. You have someone you can reach out to if you find something confusing. You have a friend that you can vent to, right? When you're frustrated working on something, and they don't just listen, but can actually contribute and, possibly even help you solve whatever problems you are facing. All right, so it's really amazing. Networking can be a very powerful tool, and I can't tell you the number of times my friends have put me on to many opportunities, and it's like, oh hey, I know you do this. This I just heard about this opportunity. Do you want to check it out? And it's like you jump on it, and it's amazing, and you're doing amazing stuff. So networking is a very vital part of your entire transition journey and can play a huge role in how your career trajectory might go. I have friends on LinkedIn that I've never met. I have friends on LinkedIn that I've never met. Yet we literally have conversations, and they share resources with me. We have conversation. I have this friend on Instagram. I usually just relate with her content, and it's like we're amazing friends now. We've never met. We're just connecting based off of the kind of content she's putting out relating to AI engineering, and then we're having conversations around things like that. And it's really amazing to see these kinds of connections actually bloom, especially within the professional environment, and as you navigate your transition. It's really amazing to hear things from your perspective, Oyindamola. It's been an awesome, incredible conversation so far, right? And I'll try to wrap things up as quickly as possible so we can end the session for today. And so, rolling towards the end of the session, I'd like to ask this question: if you could start your journey over, if you could start all over again, would you still go for tech? That's the first part of the question. And secondly, how, if you were going for tech, right? How would you map out your first 6 months with all of the information you have right now? How would you map out your first 6 months on that journey if you're going for tech? If you're not going for tech, we don't want to hear the rest of the story. You're muted, Oyin.
Me? Okay, all right. So, genuinely, will I go for tech? Yes, I would still go for tech. I wish I had done tech like way earlier. But I don't think I would change anything in my journey though, because I think I have such a dynamic set of experience and set of skills based on my experience. So you hardly find a data analyst that can teach, can is good with like community, all this engagement stuff,
Mm,
and also would do great in operations.
mm,
So that kind of set of skills or that combination of skills
yeah,
is
yeah.
rare. Even in tech, if you're a tech person, you're a coding person, you code straight, you don't know everything you're doing is one thing. But because I have dilly-dallied a lot, right? I have tasted this one day, I've tasted that one day. So what they are doing, yes, this I don't like this thing. So I don't think I would change anything in my 6 months. However, one thing I would have to remind myself to do is, first of all, put yourself in an environment where you actually will grow. So yeah, so you can, be in community. There are a lot of people that are in communities that are onlookers. Please don't be an onlooker in a community. I think that's one thing I would change. I would not be so quiet in certain communities, because there was a community that honestly I just sent a link to I used to write a lot of articles. I used to write funny articles about tech. Like, I found it very intriguing and funny. So I used to write like really funny articles about tech, and I just sent my article one day. And the owner of the community, one lady that I really looked up to, and she texted me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I like your article so much. Would you like mind writing for the community?" I say, "What? What am I doing before if not writing it?" And now, after all, what am I using my Twitter to do? Not really. I can't do such a thing. And I had that wonderful opportunity. And now if people ask me, "Oh, I've not written in a long time. Like, I didn't think I've written this year at all, like anything, like an article." However, because I had done those things in the past, and those things actually stood out, like they were great in that time, is the quality is so there now. So if you ask me, have you written anything? It's those past things I'll show you. Not because I don't have anything new to write. I just still have a writer's block. I've not seen anything that is very funny like that. A lot is happening in this country. Nothing's funny at the moment. So a lot. So community, don't be an onlooker in a community. I think you should be as active. It doesn't matter. Don't let any. I know that as we grow older, we feel like everybody's watching us. Actually, nobody's watching you. Don't feel like, oh, am I doing too much? Nobody cares, actually. And even if they care, when you get to where you are going, you find out that actually. Sorry for people that were doing shy shy. I wish I was more. I mean, I was active, but I wish I was more active, and just did a lot of things that people knew me. So I wish people knew my name more. Like just I was like, you know, when I thought you knew her from this, hey, I like it. Not because I want to be a celebrity, but because if people know your name like that, they'll put you on. That's just it. They'll put you on. They remember that when you used to do this, and she's very good at it. Oh, let me ask if she can, if she's available. Do you get? So I think community for me has always been very important. I always try to put myself in a place where I have to do it. People around me are doing it. Like the only thing I'm seeing is what I want to do. So I'm seeing people doing it and I'm just like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And that's just it. So be active in community. That's the only thing I think I'll do differently. Just be more active. Not like I wasn't active, but be more active. Let them know me that this girl does what she does. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. That's really insightful from you, or Oyindamola, and I think I completely agree with this. Ensure that you are active, that people are seeing you, people are seeing the work that you do. You really don't know the opportunities that can come up for you, and it's really not limited to just tech communities. Every other community that you find yourself in, try to you're making this transition into tech. You want to make money out of it. I mean, all of us are looking for money. Some of us are in it for, I don't know what your motivation is. But for me, I also like the money in it. So yeah, ensure that everyone around you knows that you are actually doing this. Something really interesting happened to me some months ago. Someone from my church came to me after church, after service, and was like, Jed, I saw you on Facebook. I'm like, Facebook? I don't even have a Facebook account. So make it make sense. The person was not asking, don't you do data science, machine learning? So I say, yes, that's true. I do that, but I don't have a Facebook account. So how did I end up on Facebook? And they're like, oh, I saw a flyer where you were at an event, you were speaking and whatnot. I was like, oh, okay, that's true. Now, guess what? If that person at work hears, oh, we are looking for a data scientist, guess the first person they are going to call?
Jed,
Of course.
Jed, the
And that's
data
not even
science.
from the tech community. Right? That's not even from the tech community. This is from church. Literally ensure that you are putting yourself out there, ensure that you are creating your own opportunities, all right, ensure that you are constantly showing up, doing the work that you can, putting yourself out there, putting your work out there, putting things, making it public, actually working on things. And like Oyindamola said, right, and I completely agree with this, don't just work on projects, right, don't just work on a random dashboard or develop some random predictive model, or work on some other project. Actually create a case study around it, create a story. This is the problem. This is the situation of things. This is the solution I'm creating, and this is how it ties back to the problem. All right. It's been a pleasure having you on the call, Damola. I would like to ask one last question, and then I'll give the audience the opportunity to ask any other questions that they would like to ask. Right. My final question. Right. And this is more or less a question. What will be your advice for someone who is just starting out their journey? Someone who is probably, in their 30s, currently going for their masters, has a family, and is looking for an alternative path, considering tech that pays a lot more compared to what they are doing right now. What would be your advice to someone like that?
Okay, so um basically the person is really busy and has a lot going on. So I would say first of all, the other thing that I said about think of it as an addition to what you're currently doing. So don't try to, maybe you're someone that works in operations. I don't think you should be learning anything like maybe back end. I don't think you should be doing that. Like, why are you going so far away, right? There are other things that are would it will be easier, like the transition would be easier. You can now like transition from that stuff later on. However, to break in, I would say let's all be serious. Look for something that's easy, right? And what's realistic in 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 conjunction with what you currently do. If you're probably like an engineer, I would say if you are like a construction engineer, I would say probably go for project management, right? Because like there's that same of, oh, after we get to this point we stop, after we get to this point we stop. You already understand like an idea of what project
Systems
is
and
going is
workflows.
doing, right? So exactly, so things like that. If you are someone that studied maths, I would say go to like data science, machine learning, like things that you have an idea about, right? So things that you kind of have the mechanism knowledge of. I think that mechanism thing. So move through there. Then again, let's all be serious. If you know you can't put in the time for it, don't do it, right? Because what would happen is that you would pay for a course or you would even see a free course, but you will be committed. Then you now be telling somebody later that, oh my gosh, I've been trying to learn this for 5 years. But the thing is that if you had just put aside 3 months and say, okay, I'm going to cut back on my shifts or part of my shift, or I'm going to like take a pay dump, a pay cut so that I can have this time to lock in, right? It's crazy, but I was still in school, but I was using my time for like to learn, to volunteer, to do other things. Yeah, one has to give. So if you know that, oh, I have this a lot of things on my plate, what is giving? What are we cutting off? Maybe throughout this next 3 months, so you tell your family members no ice cream. All the time we're going to use to all the time the morning that we're going to be used to be doing ice cream, no movies, like okay, you guys can go, but I can't participate in this for this period of time because I'm trying to lock in for something greater. So well, you can want to do it, but actually doing it is very different. So that's what I would advise anyone that's trying to start over. That first of all, you don't actually have to start over. Just look for something that would be great to like bridge across. You have a lot of skills already. Those skills are transferable. They are not useless skills. You don't have to throw them away. You don't have to erase them from your life. You need them, so then actually put in the work, right? Please actually put in the work. don't know what I don't know what else I can say that please actually put in the work. The work is very important. Once you put in 3 months, honestly your life will change. You yourself you feel it. So that's just my advice for anyone starting that kind of is in the middle of their life. Like life is lifing. So that's what I would advise.
Thank you so much, Oyindamola. It's been a pleasure, interacting and conversing with you today. Thank you so much for sparing out your time, your very precious time, to come and speak with us. Thank you so much, Oyindamola. Right about now, I would give
It's
the
been a
opportunity.
pleasure.
Thank you. I would like to give the opportunity to others on the call. If you have any questions you'd like to ask Oyindamola before we draw the curtains for tonight's session. So you can just use the raise hand gesture. I'll call your name out and you can go on to ask your questions. Or if you're feeling shy, you can as well type it in the chat. All right, so pick up the questions from the chat as well. And then, Oyin would be go on to share her opinions and answers to those. So if you have any questions, please go on into the chat and share that. Right. So use the raise hand gesture or share in the chat. Any questions at all that you like going to respond to. Now, while we type our questions or someone the courage to tap on the raise hand gesture, I would like to ask Oyin one more favor, right? For the next
Okay.
guest that we're going to be having. This is a monthly conversation that we're going to be having within the community. And we're really hoping we would get to see you again in subsequent sessions. I see that Zion is here. Zion, you have not met me. I have not met you. I have seen you before. Oyin probably told you, but I've seen you before. We did not talk. I'm hoping I can drag you into one of the sessions as well. All right. Yeah,
Okay.
Ran. Hey.
So he's currently in transit, but
Well,
I will speak to him about it.
all right. Hopefully we can have him sometime as well on on the program. The question or the favor I would like to ask Owen, can you leave one question for our next guest? One question that you feel the answer to will really help everyone that's joining, everyone that's listening.
Mhm.
Just one question for the next guest.
Okay. All right. So, wow, I didn't think this through. I didn't think that this would be a question. But I really love that this is a question. I would now like, please involve me in this next. I've said if you should add me to this your community, Jedediah, please send me the link. I want to be involved because I would really like to know the answer to this question. So my question is going to be, um, if you are somebody that has done, so let me ask you kind of a personal question. So
Okay.
you're trying to, um, you have done a lot. So you're trying to transition and you are job hunting, right? What's job hunting like? Because I feel like I've been out of the game and I'm trying to transition into like an entirely new role, not something that I necessarily have experience. Not like I don't have experience, but I have experience in a different type of way. So what is that like? Like what's job hunting like? My last Google search is job hunting a numbers game? Is it a numbers game or a quality game? Because I believe I've been putting out quality applications, but I've not been putting like crazy amounts of applications. So I think that's my own question. All right, Joanne, you can be here, please. I would say this is like, is it actually a numbers game or like what is the entire point? Because I believe that with what I'm seeing and the results I'm seeing from people, because I have friends as well that, everybody's trying to, I recently completed NYSC and everybody's trying to get a job and you're just like, "Ah, just the bomb, just the bomb, just the bomb, just the bomb." Look at the bomb, 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 bomb. Even place that I'm not supposed to bomb. What if I don't even want this job? Should I be applying to
Clients
things
say,
like that I don't even want? Right? So is it a numbers game or should I just be applying to any and everywhere?
hmm,
Or does that increase? I mean, it does increase your service level. I don't know. I don't know. That my issue is job hunting right now. Like, because again, I'm currently transitioning, so I'm just like,
hmm.
what is it like? And for me, I've been quite lucky. I've not really had to job hunt most of the time. I'm more of speak up. Everybody, solution to your problem will come. So I'm speaking up now, so that solution to my problem will come. What is job hunting like? It's very interesting. I'm just like,
Hmm.
okay. And also, what's to you? What's the perfect job? I think I have that's two questions. So, what's job? Is job hunting
When we're
really?
asking for one question, you're giving us two.
You see that you now have ideas. Two idea issues are interested.
All right,
So,
thank
like, is job hunting a numbers game? Then, what did I say? What was my second question? Um, No, I can't remember the second question. But very important is job hunting a numbers game. I think that's just it. So everybody knows, okay, if I apply to 100 jobs, like 10 will get back to me. But if I apply to like 7 jobs, that means nobody will get back to me. Or 0.7 will get back.
get
That's
back to
that's
you.
crazy number. So
Yeah.
like what's the numbers like? That's just
Okay.
most and okay, I remember my second question. Does the perfect job exist and how do you find it?
Okay.
Write it down because now I cannot remember everything.
Don't worry, the session is recorded. We have everything
So
covered.
does the perfect job
Don't worry.
exist?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Oyindamola.
Okay.
I think we have one
I'm
question from Zion. A question I have for Oyindamola is if you can share how learning and working and all that was for you as a woman. That's really interesting.
okay. Okay, as a woman. So maybe I'm different or maybe I've just been lucky, right? I've not really had or maybe just my approach to life. I am a human being first. Am I a woman? Am I a man? That's your concern, right? So I've not really had particularly I've not had issues with working or finding a job and learning and working. Also, I must mention that a lot of the communities I belonged to, were run by women. So I specifically was looking for women in tech who probably had the same background as me, maybe someone that studied something out of tech. So I was looking for people that had similar stories to me and joining their communities, speaking to them. And that was mostly how it has been for me. Although once I was told that I had to like, because I'm kind of an easygoing person. Probably you see me on low cut on most days, or just I don't really. I would not say I don't put in much. I'm not. I don't look like a baddie
Mm.
on a good day you will not see me like on heels and everything. I probably will just wear like sneakers and keep it moving. Like life is very easy for me. I think comfort is very practical. I'm a
Very
practical. I love fashion. However, I'm very practical with my approach to fashion.
mm.
So I've had someone tell me that, oh, if you're gonna be talking to our organization or like our clients, would need you to like have like really long wigs and things like that. And that was coming from a woman, and I was just like, "Ah, that's very interesting." I did put a little effort, but I've realized that authenticity does not prove anything, and what will be. So it depends. So and I'm a time and place kind of person. If I need to wear heels, I would wear heels. However, if I don't need to, I'm not going to put it on for show. So that's just my own approach to like tech as a woman. I've also had a man tell me, "Oh, you're a girl, Abby. You're in tech now. That means you're a guy."
Ah.
So, and person was like, "Oh, the guy." It was saying something, and I was on the team, so it was like, "Oh, the guys are going to do something." I was like, "The guys." It's like, "Oh yes, now you as you are already you're in tech now. That means you're part of the
So,
guys, or you're a guy." And I'm like, "Excuse me, excuse me, okay." So just backhanded comments here and there, but
mm,
it has never really affected my own chances
mm,
as far as I can see.
mm,
Maybe it's affecting my chances and I don't know, but
mm.
as far as I know, it is not affecting my chances.
All right. Thank you so much, Zion, for that question, and thank you, Owen, for your time and for the awesome conversation that we've had so far. Now the opportunities back to everyone. Any questions? I don't see any other questions in the chat. I also don't see any raised hands. Do we have any other questions? I'm going to give us 30 seconds to raise our hand. Someone that courage now. In 30 seconds, all will close that window. It's been an awesome conversation with you, Oyindamola. I'm definitely going to be adding you to the community. I'm going to share the link. We're going to have, a lot more conversations within the community, a lot more sessions like this. We are going to have a lot more guests that will be coming in, to share their experiences, share, their transition journey, and just share insights overall on how you can navigate this. All right. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Yindamola. I don't think we have any
Thank you
other
so much,
questions right
Greg.
now. I'll be looking forward to catching up with you again soon. Thank you so much,
Thank
everyone, for
you.
joining. I hope you all have a wonderful evening and a blessed week ahead. Take care, everyone, and bye for now. Cheers.